talk about professional wrestling.
Nobody knows the whole story, so I'll tell you.
How about you, Jason?
Oh, this is like a murder room. This is great.
Lots of black sex magicians out there, right?
And look down like, what the fuck?
Oh, we're gonna just do it this way and nobody's gonna stop us.
I want to show that a real champion has to do things for the community, for your people, for other women, you know?
In this business, what you sell is emotions. If you manage to get people invested, you did it.
That's rehearse videotapes.
It's time for another MMMshow.
Welcome to another edition of Mass Mats and Mayhem. I'm your host, Justin Outlaw Harvey. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can, in fact, find this entire program all over social media at MMMshow75. I'm joined, as usual, by that homie over there, Tony Allen, at Tony we still have to investigate this whole St. Allen thing.
No, it's fine. Nobody needs to
know.
know.
Okay, well, you're not the important one today anyway. Today, as I'm sure everyone has already seen, they're already like, why are these idiots on the top still talking? Let's get to the real goods. The current, reigning, defending, recently crowned badass ladies of the National Wrestling Alliance and tag team champions, the Hex. Allysin K and Marti Belle. Look at the...
We're tag team.
We're a tag team.
You are. Yeah. Okay. So, Allysin, you don't know this, but me and Marti were talking before you got here, and we got to talk about this cat person thing. I heard you traitor'd on us cat people, and you have a dog now. I'm highly offended.
But I have 2 cats and only 1 dog, so
yes, the ratio still
for now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For now, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
So,
I did. There was a Samoyed I saw up for adoption, which those are very hard to find for adoption because they're usually bred dogs. And I thought about it, but I was like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
One at a time. One at a time.
Oh my God, those are gorgeous. I just looked.
They're fluffy white dog. They look just like my fluffy white cat. I was like, I need him. I know.
We need more dogs that look like cats in general, right?
Yeah.
Let's see those belts again. Wait a minute.
Now you need to get Dahlia a doppelganger too.
I know.
Did you guys hold up those belts? Let me see this
these
hardware
old
again.
Things?
We came prepared.
Oh my God. So
it feels nice to have them back in our hands where they belong.
They still
we have
like
to go back
leather.
to Empower, right? Is that when you guys was that when these titles were first minted? Is that correct?
Yes.
And it was you guys that got them, right?
Sure was.
Correct.
Sure was.
2021.
Yes, we are the first champions of the modern era. So they were brought back after a crazy number of years. I forgot what the exact number is. And until this day, we are the longest reigning as well of the modern era. And the only ones that are going to beat our record is us.
Is that the current goal? You guys want to take down your own record?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Like to set records, so why not beat our own, you know?
I appreciate
that, and also taking these championships more places. We've already taken them international during our first reign, but we want to do that again this time.
Yeah.
Well, and taking a little peek behind the curtain, with NWA, are you guys able to do stuff like that? I know you guys have like a taping season, and you guys kind of go through the ringer for a month or so, and you just tape a whole bunch of stuff, and then after that, if you still have the belts, you're allowed to go around with them and defend them and show them off other places, or what? How's it work?
We basically got that was something that, like Allysin mentioned, was very important to us, our last title reign, and we had a very different taping schedule back then. So it was a lot easier for us to take them. We did a month-long European tour where we were able to take the titles, won other titles while we were out in the UK. Shout out to Pro Wrestling Eve. And we're treating this the same this time for us. Like we even though it is a different taping schedule, we're going to be holding on to these titles for the next year. So we can tape as many things as we want to tape, but it doesn't matter because at the end of it, we're still going to be champions. So us going out and defending them isn't going to change anything that's happening on television.
Well, I'm really looking forward to you guys coming to Mexico and defending that. We were talking about it, Marty. You know, it's been a conversation once.
Listen, we were just in McAllen this past weekend, and Allysin has wrestled in Mexico. Huh?
You told me you were coming over here,
yes.
Right?
And Allysin has wrestled in Mexico, and we felt. I felt like I was there, so I'm like, yeah, un poquito más. I'm getting so close.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
I know there's a lot. I mean, tonight I'm going to a wrestling show that I've never even heard of before in Monterrey. So there's so many places you can take it over here. I'm just saying, you know, promoters are there. Póngase las pilas, promotores. Aquí están las campeonas de NWA.
Exacto.
So NWA, right? Let's talk about Power. I can't roll my R's very good, but there's 3 of them in Power. For those who don't,
I was like, "What is that?" I'm sorry.
Forgive him, please.
Tony, do Power for me with a roll on the R's.
Power.
That's power. You don't. Yeah, Power.
Power.
There we go.
You're the only one that can't do it. That's crazy. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But I love it. You know, Danny Deals is a friend of mine. And when I heard about this Roku thing, as a television producer myself, I did this show called Best Bite Wins for Roku. And I discovered kind of the wealth of stuff that's on there and this app. And I have a bunch of actual Roku boxes in my house. That was how I cut the cord 10, 15 years ago. So I'm a big fan of Roku products in general. And then I was like, you know what? NWA going on there is actually pretty damn brilliant for me. I love it. I started watching hella more NWA. I hadn't watched for a while, like back when Ricky Saints and Thunder and Melina were over there. I was watching quite a bit, and you guys were I think you guys were in some of that era as well.
I mean, I was the champion at the time, but no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just holding down the gold. Nothing major. Well, you've held a lot. You've had a few titles in your time there, Allysin.
It is hard to keep track.
So by the way, it was 37 years from the activation of the titles to when you guys, you girls won them. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's
a
lifetime. That's
my lifetime.
That's some people's age, you know.
That's literally my lifetime.
Tony's
there you go. So you have to be born to be able to. So it will come back. There
yes, Tony. I remember when the tag team belts were around before. Yes, I'm that old. Thanks. Tony.
Oh, really? Yeah, I thought you would experience having both reigns at the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, when this airs, it'll probably be my birthday, and I will be 51 years old, and I'm not afraid to say it. So
okay,
no way.
Wow,
I don't believe you.
But NWA currently, like as soon as I heard, I was like, oh, this is great. And I really love that it gave me a way to get back into the product. I like watching it streaming now. And I like the fact that I can catch up on a bunch of episodes at once if I want to. Because honestly, there's a ton of wrestling out there, and I have trouble. The hardest show for me to watch is NXT because it's on regular TV, and I don't have. I can watch it when it's live, but I don't really have a way to DVR it, and I can't really watch a replay until the next day or something. So shows that become accessible to me become my favorite shows, and I love a lot of what's going on over there right now. But you guys tell me, like, what's your feeling on the current state of NWA and how the product is presented and how you guys feel that you are best representing the NWA right now?
Well, I mean, obviously bringing us in as a tag team was a great move on their part, but you know, they've always been, well, I always, meaning since I started working with them in 2019, before Power even aired, they've really been focused on amplifying the women, you know, the women's division, whether it be before the tag titles even came back into the picture with the NWA Women's World Championship was always a highlight of the Power episodes and things like that. When I signed with them in 2019, before Power, they would have us meaning me and like their other champions, going to other indie promotions, ROH, things like that, to defend our championships. And then once power became a thing, you know, we had a nice roster of women there. It didn't feel like, oh, you know, the women's champion is the only women's match on the card type thing. And I feel like they were really highlighting doing women's main events for their episodes and things like that without making it feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like capitalizing on a trend, you know, like they were just doing it and having multiple women's matches throughout the cards. They're still doing that. And now also focusing on the tag division.
Which is great. I love that there's a lot of women's tag wrestling now, and in AEW now having a women's tag division as well, NXT and the main roster at WWE. I think it really does help because I think we've seen over the last few years, and I hold you guys responsible for this, and we'll get into that in a moment, but there's such a wealth of talent that we need more storylines and places for that talent to be shown. And sadly, people did not crack the formula of how to do that without the props, without the belts involved. So having the belts, I think, is really starting to help, because then you have that reason where the booking committee or whoever's writing in the back is like, oh, well, what are we doing with that shiny gold thing? We got to do something with it. And it at least gives them the catalyst to have to book. I still think a lot of these people could have been on TV even without it already if they had if those writers and bookers had the foresight to do that. But look, whatever helps, whatever gets it done is the thing. So I love that. I got to talk to you guys about the presentation of the Hex. Y'all are serious as hell on TV. Y'all are so scary. But in real life, like, y'all don't seem so damn scary. Like, Allysin, I know you tall as hell. You what are you, 5'11" or something, 5'10"?
Yeah.
I get it. The girl can be intimidating, but at the same time, like, if you've met Allysin or you've seen other interviews with her and whatnot, she is like, she really is legit, like, smiles. So here's my question that I'm getting at.
I don't know, I'm still scared, man.
Is there an opportunity on this run for you guys to bring a little bit of the smile into the presentation? Like, I know Marti got jokes. I listen to her on Thunder's show every week, and Marti got jokes. Allysin got smiles and this warmth and personality. Like, is there gonna be room for this in the Hex ever?
It's so funny because I think of we always talk about how we make such a great tag team because we're opposites in the right ways. Like, fundamentally we are the same, but we're yin and yang, just like that t-shirt, that version, which is sold out. I'm sorry, everyone. The yin yang t-shirt, because anywhere I lack, Marti picks up, and vice versa. And I think of Marti as being like the warm, approachable, talkative one. And I feel like if you just see me from across a room, a lot of people have told me that they're very intimidated by me because I do have resting B face. I don't know if I can swear on here, but it's just my natural default. And I don't mean to look mean or intimidating all the time, not most of the time, but if you talk to me like now, you'll see that, yes, I do smile. I am friendly.
He's fucking hilarious.
But in the ring, of course, it's going to be different, right? However, I will say, to your point, we are baby faces right now. Not only are we baby faces, but if you really pay attention to our promos, at least if they all air, then you will see that we do a lot of humor. We put a lot of humor in our promos. Sometimes we actually have to rein it in because we feel like we're being too silly. I don't think you can be too silly, but we want to be serious champions on one hand, but we also want to put our personality into it. So we do slip in. I'm waiting for the next promo to air. I'm excited to see that one.
We're very excited for this next promo. We were very excited for one that was supposed to air this past week that didn't make it on air. But there's one coming up that we are very excited about because I definitely think you do get to see a lot more of our personality. And I think that people that have been around us know we are very silly, and we're also really good at playing off each other. So like AK said, there are times when we have to be like, okay, maybe let's rein it in. Let's cut like 10 seconds of that, because we will just go on a tangent. And I think something that you have said too is that you feel like since we've started tagging, people find you a little bit more approachable because I'm usually there like,
it's because Marti is the buffer. They're like, oh, okay, she's smiling at Marti. She's not completely evil, or she's not going to punch me in the face if I say hello to her. So I feel like people are more, they feel like they can approach me a little more now.
Which is good and bad. It's good and bad.
That's kind of what I'm looking for and hoping to get a little bit of from you guys in this run, because honestly, like, look, Latimer at the top, a couple months ago was so serious, and it's working. Like, nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, like, that storyline and everything that's going on with the championship and whatnot up at the top of the card is that serious thing. It's that pride for the NWA belt thing going on there, that the boys are just butting heads, whatever. It's like, we got time for some other stuff. And of course, you guys are the baby faces standing across from Tiffany Nieves. Like, who, I mean, the devil is a baby face across from her. Like, seriously.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I think also it's like, you have to think of it like, I mean, I feel like you kind of said it, especially when we came back, that first match we had where we were robbed. So coming back for our rematch, it is going to be a serious moment. We are going to be silly. We are going to have fun. But as soon as that bell rings, it's like, this means something. This is important to us. This isn't just, just another random match. Let's see what happens. Like, this match means a lot to us. So I think that's why when we're in the ring, things do get turned up. When we're doing promos, when we're backstage, when we're doing interviews, you definitely see a very different side of us. And I think that's a skill that we have both, it's finding that right balance of, all right, now it's time to turn it on. Now it's time to be serious. Now it's time to literally kick ass. And then we can go, as soon as we step out of the ring, we're cracking jokes. Literally, I think after we won the title, what was the first thing we said when the camera was on us? The Hex would never. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are going to still have fun, but when it comes time to be serious, let's fucking go.
I think that's the beauty of a second.
Well,
round,
and I gotta
right?
say that
you get to do it. You get to enjoy it and build on whatever you had. Yeah.
That too. We're having fun. This is supposed to be fun. I'm joking because I'm so excited.
I mean, we're talking about fun. Tony, did you watched the rematch that they had with TVMA, right? That was brutal. Y'all were mean. Y'all went in there and tore them poor girls up. Y'all,
we were avenging being robbed too in that moment. So like Marty was saying, we're not going to go in there cracking jokes in that match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had
for people who haven't seen it, get on.
I think we have.
What'd you say, Tony? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Having a technical difficulty there, bro. No, we had the parts of the match on our show, Chismesano. You can watch every Tuesday if we are available. I'm just saying. And yes, Marty has some critiques about my editing on that video, but anyways, but yes, you can see it. You can see it was very aggressive. I like that. I like to watch everything my friends do, but like I really enjoy watching that match. It was pretty.
No, that match was intense. I loved it. For anyone who hasn't seen it, get the Roku channel app on your streaming device, on your computer, on your phone. Go in there, hit NWA Power. New episodes drop on Tuesdays, right, Marty? Tuesdays. Again, I'm watching it all over the place, and I tend to watch like 3 episodes at a time a lot of times.
And that's the cool thing too, is that if you're traveling, if you're not able to watch it for whatever reason, you can just go and you can binge it. It's just like it's a TV show. You can binge it. You can sit there and watch hours and hours of wrestling if you'd like. Like, it's
also more importantly, it's free.
It is
That's
free.
What some people forget.
Hell.
They hear app and they're like, "Ooh, an app! Like, I don't want another app." But it's free, baby.
Yeah,
and don't get it twisted with Howdy, which is Roku's other service that you have to pay for. This is not Howdy. This is the free one. It is on the Roku channel. And when you're over there, go watch one of my shows, Best Bite Wins, that I produced and directed and took a lot of my damn time to make it. It's like a competition food show. Ooh. But also get your NWA Power on Tuesdays, and especially go and watch that match. What was it in episode 6 of this season?
I don't know the number offhand.
I don't know, but look it up. It's in the description. Look up the women's tag title match, and watch that match because. And I like Tiffany Nieves as somebody who's coming up and a future star. That girl got her ass kicked, and her friends had to watch. I love it.
Good. I'll do it again.
But here, and I that kind of brings me to where I wanted to get to overall with you guys. Shimmer, Shine, Mae Young Classic, TNA Knockouts division. These two ladies, you have to understand where they've been to understand where they're going and what's important about these two women sitting right here with us today. Because, everyone talks about the women's evolution or revolution or this, that, and the other thing. That's fine. And that was very important. But at the same time, I want everybody to realize that there was a group of women out on the indies that really turned wrestling around and made it what it is today. And that is evidenced by the fact that if you look at any of these divisions that are thriving now, they are populated with the women that came out of these promotions, Mission Pro and Shine and Shimmer, and like women helping other women to succeed, and Gail Kim helping everybody over in TNA, and the things that were going on. And it was foundational to me for what is happening right now. And the fact that when I turn on NXT, especially, I'm looking at the men who have been doing stuff, and it's like they don't have half of what the women have on that show to me right now. They just don't. And that's no offense to those guys, but also like, hey, that should light a fire under their butts. Like, step it up. Because I look at WWE right now, they can, at any point in time, they can take 5 women off of that NXT roster and put them on the main show and still have too much talent at NXT. And that's both good and bad for the indie scene, but it does say a lot about the foundation that I think women like you guys have laid for the business in the last 10 years. So what I'm trying to get at too is, what do you guys think was the importance of the indie movement of women's wrestling, and the fact that you guys didn't have to come up in the old boys club, and that you collectively, this group of women, made your own path and reestablished what wrestling was about for a whole subculture in wrestling now?
We actually met at an all women's promotion called WSU back in 2011. Is that right? 2011 in Jersey at the Ace Arena. And I think it's just that sisterhood is so important. So many of the women that we came up with that were in that time, I think we're still very close. We're still good friends. Everybody kind of looks out for each other. And I think it's really important because we were able to protect ourselves and know we were in a safe environment because we were surrounded by women who helped, lead the way. But also, we were able to show that it wasn't just, oh, here's the popcorn match. Oh, here's the bathroom break match. You had a show where, like, for example, the Shimmer shows, every single match could have been the main event. But there was also, you were also able to do other things. Like, I had one of my favorite matches there with Leva Bates, and it was based on a Pee Wee Herman like impersonation, so like there was room to do all sorts of fun things while still being treated as an equal. We were not treated as like an afterthought, like, oh fuck, I forgot to book a women's match. It's fine. No one's gonna notice. Like we were the main event,
Yeah, I think that was a huge thing with all women's promotions. Shimmer, Shine, WSU, Rise, which also ran out of Berwyn. Where kind of like what Marty was saying, we started wrestling in the late 2000s, really, if you think about that, which that sounds crazy to me, but it was like 2000. For me, my debut was like the very end of 2008. So basically 2009. And I know you were right before that, I believe. Mm-hmm. And we still did kind of come up in that boys club, as you were saying, but then the all women shows gave us a way to, number one, find community. Not that there wasn't, there's always going to be some type of drama and shit going on in that as well. But overall, we find community and we learn how to work every part of the show, which we didn't have opportunities to do on the indies at that time. So we weren't going to have another opportunity at that time to work a main event on an indie show where there's a bunch of guys, right? But the all women's promotions gave us that opportunity. We learn how to be the opening match. We learn how to be mid-card. We learn how to be the champion and the main event of a show. And then in like Rise, for example, I got to practice commentary. I got to do other things. And it really, I think, helped shape so many women who then went on to other promotions, TNA, WWE, NXT, AEW, everywhere, on how to not just how to work every part of a show, just like the guys have to do when they're coming up on the indies, basically. I know when I first started, sometimes we were told, oh, it doesn't matter what you do in your match because you're the women. Like you can do the exact same match, all the same moves as these guys. It doesn't matter because you're the girls doing it. Whereas as a wrestler, gender aside, if I know someone is doing something else in their match, I'm not going to do it because that's disrespectful. But they didn't care because it's like, oh, you're the women. Just do whatever you want. but no, we had to learn how to actually work on a show and do the right things regardless of gender, and that we could take that elsewhere to the bigger platforms. And I think that's why so many of us became more well-rounded and started that path, I guess, for the next generations to follow.
Right. I'm trying to think, Allysin, I think the first time I heard about you was maybe you did AIW or something here in Cleveland. And I was in LA at the time, but my homies that went to the local shows were talking about you from when you debuted, and they, and also your size too was perfect for wrestling then, because we didn't have Camille and Megan Bain and like
it's crazy you mentioned that.
You look tough.
I was
That's
thinking about that the
attribute.
other day. Yeah, because when I look at myself then, I'm like, oh, I was small, like not in height, but just overall. Like now I have more muscle.
Right.
I'm just like a bigger person overall. And
you were
I feel
doing
like
MMA and stuff back then too, right?
What was that?
I said you were doing MMA and stuff back then too,
yeah,
right?
MMA, jiu-jitsu, all that fun stuff. But I was just like smaller, but because I was tall, I was the big girl.
Oh, yeah.
And so like even when I got signed to TNA in 2016, I was like 145 pounds because that's what I fought at. And that was right after my MMA fight, actually. But I was not big, but compared to all the girls on the roster, I was big. So I was automatically like the monster, but I'm like nowhere near Awesome Kong's presence. You know what I'm saying? And like demeanor and things like that. So it's just so funny to think about that, because I'm like, I'm bigger now, but now there are other tall girls that like Megan Bain and I are the exact same height. We wrestled actually in Greektown at the end of last year. It was a banger match. Highly recommend you go seek that out. Greektown Wrestling in Toronto. But standing next to her, I'm like, oh, we're nose to nose, I just have, like, if I was 145 pounds standing next to her, it would look so different than it does now. And I just think that's interesting.
No, I do too. But it's also like, styles make fights in wrestling, but also size is important. And it's not about the body dysmorphia that I know every single wrestler on the entire face of the planet, regardless of gender, faces, because I have talked to so many of them. I mean, I've talked to Sean Ricker, LA Knight, about it, and that dude is just super duper jacked, and he's like, I don't know, man, I don't know if this bicep is doing it enough. Like everybody in wrestling has body dysmorphia, but
yeah, that's a fact.
When I was 145 pounds in TNA, people were still calling me fat online, just so you know.
I was called fat at 125 pounds at TNA. I was told I needed to lose weight when I was
I'll just ignore that
pounds.
Because to me, it's like, what I want to see is I want to see how people match up. And some of my favorite wrestlers are like Shane Taylor and Eddie Kingston. And like, because like you look at either of those two dudes.
Eddie Kingston, fuck that guy.
Yeah, but
I literally just got a text from him right now. Like he knew you're about to bring up his name.
But it's like, he looks like the dude in the bar where I knocked his drink over and I'm ready to fight it first. And then I'm like, no, this dude is going to grab a pipe or do some nonsense. Like you don't have to be jacked and shimmery and spray tanned and abbed out. Like what I care about as a fan watching this stuff is like, let's talk about credibility. Let's talk about charisma. Like, yes, some people have different looks. Some people are aesthetically pleasing, but everybody can't be Ravishing Rick Rude and doesn't need to be, because then it takes away from Ravishing Rick Rude. That's his gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like seeing, an Afro-Latina in one corner. I like seeing the tough look that Allysin presents and being taller. I like seeing the red velvet that's like a little scrappy boxer. Like,
proud, baby.
It needs to have variance to me, because, and we're seeing this happen in wrestling right now. Being the average white guy with a decent build and whatever is becoming very hard for those guys to get over. That used to be the entire industry, but now it's tough. I mean, you see a guy like Karrion Kross get moved out of the WWE and you're like, what is going on? You're the ultimate Vince guy. Like, how does this happen? But I love the fact that you guys, they are. And I think that different styles and different looks and different approaches is the key to keeping people like me interested. We're tired of seeing the same stuff.
For everyone, there's a spot in wrestling for everyone. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. You can be pretty much whoever you want to be, and I feel like no matter what you look like or whatever your capabilities are, I think that there is a spot in wrestling for everyone if they want it, you know. That doesn't mean there's a spot on every show for you, but I do think that there is a spot for everyone.
Well, like tonight, I'm going again. I'm
And
going to this
Allysin,
show.
I know that
Yeah, I
you.
don't think you can hear when I'm talking. That's just.
We can hear you.
I'm gonna have to edit this out right now. Yeah, I think you're behind or something. I don't know. So like I'm going to the show tonight, right? And the only reason why I'm going to the show, and I'm just gonna put it out there, is because Gringo Loco is gonna be on it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, because to be honest, I know a lot of wrestlers, I know a lot of wrestling, but I didn't know anybody that was on this card except for him. So, and he's exactly that, you know, that it's not like he looks like, I don't know, Finn Balor, right? Like that's just, but I know he's gonna give me what I want out of a wrestling show, right? It's gonna look amazing, and whoever is gonna wrestle him is gonna have the best match he's got in his fucking career, just because we know what he can do, right? So but there's also this other level of when I look at both of you, and not because I work with Marty, but I have to say, but because there's this level of charisma and personality and uniqueness to it, right? It presents itself every time I see him, and I just enjoy, even like there is photos that the other day I was posting, like I don't know if I was resharing photos of you girls, and it was just like that. Somehow it's tough and funny and cool at the same time, right? Like it was just you were just holding the belt, and I was like, somehow this says a lot, and it's just a pose that you guys are doing, and I'm like, yeah, that's what's missing from a lot of other, you know, people, women or men, right? Like it's just you have to have that essence, and I think you have them all the time, and
thank you.
Yeah, I just enjoy that a lot.
We appreciate that. That means a lot, for real, because I remember when I first started training, one thing that my trainer said, and I don't even think he realized that this would sit with me for my entire career, but when talking about promos and charisma, I remember him saying, when it comes to presence, you either have it or you don't. And I remember that, like, oh my gosh, like what if I don't have it? Then I just then there's nothing you can do. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment. I think people can work on elements that can give them the illusion of a presence to fans. Maybe they don't necessarily have it in person when you're really like one-on-one with them, and you're like, oh, okay, I can see it differently backstage. But I think there are elements you can fake it till you make it on TV, right? But I do think that when it comes to like really having it, or truly having like a presence, a genuine one, that scared me. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I don't have any charisma or presence? Because I just started. And I'm not tooting my own horn or saying I even have it, but just going off of what you said. That is why that means a lot to me for you to say.
No, it's real. And also, and this is something that I sometimes have long conversations, and like, I'm not gonna call them fights because it's wrestling, and I don't like to be shouting at other people about wrestling. I just like to make a point. Also, it is very easy to be good looking and athletic when you're 20 and you're 22, right? I take this for myself. Like I take whatever, because I'm 42 years old, and I know my body's going through changes, guys. But it is really easy, but to stay fit, to be athletic, to still be able to do whatever you do as an athlete and a performer, as you going to your middle age, that is complicated. I know it sounds terrible, but it's true. No, it is.
No,
true.
honestly,
yeah.
This has been a conversation and a narrative that's been put into our brain since we were little girls, long before we were ever wrestlers, right? So it's something we've dealt with every day. And even if we never became wrestlers, it's something we would be dealing with. But I think being a performer has really helped me appreciate aging more. It really is a blessing. And so I don't care about people knowing how old I am, or like when people try to say someone's too old to that, to whatever, I'm like, shut up. Like it just goes in one ear and out the other for me, because I just think that's so stupid. I think that like 40 is the new 20. I believe that. Or like 50 is the new 20, whatever. And I just think age is always going to be a state of mind. Yes, your body is going to react differently. And we are at the point now where we're like, oh, our bodies don't respond to everything the same way they did 10 years ago. That's kind of crazy, but it's an adjustment. But when it comes to like aging, I'm grateful because not everyone gets to do this.
No, and I can say from my point of view, I don't think I've been this strong ever in my life. Like just out of like a comment, I don't think so. You just have to continue doing what you do, and the experience that you have as a performer, it will bring you to new different places. And I know that always in our main show we always talk about why is everybody in WWE over 40, but it is a good thing to be able to enjoy the fruit of your maturity physically and mentally and as a performer. And I think I don't think you guys are in the top of the maturity yet, right? But you are really good at what you do, and I think that now everybody should be looking up to after you to whatever you guys have putting out there, because that is the blueprint of other people to follow through.
That's so interesting, because I know we literally had this conversation this weekend, where if I knew now what I knew my first TNA run, you know, I would definitely have such a different career. But we're talking about it's a 10-year difference, and how much you grow and how much you mature in 10 years, especially as you start getting into your 30s. And yeah, like my body does not respond. You know, it does take me a couple extra days now to get back to, you know, to my normal amount of pain. But in that same token, I'm in much better shape now than when I was a skinny 127 pounds. Like, I'm so much stronger now. Like, oh, my shirts don't fit me. Oh, why? Because I'm fucking jacked. So, like, you know, like my body has definitely changed so much. And yes, that body dysmorphia is always there. There's always that little voice in your ear that's telling you, you know, if you were fat at 125 pounds, how fat are you now? You know, there is always that little voice. But I do also have to, like, sometimes remind myself, like, yeah, man, like I'm so much stronger now than I've ever been in my entire life. I can lift heavier. I can carry people heavier. Like there's so much to it.
Not even to mention the booty.
It's
different now. It's different now.
I work with her, so I cannot say those kind of things, but I know that the public in general appreciates that.
You have eyes. You have eyes. I'll say
just say the truth, Tony. Just say the truth, man. It's only the truth if it's the truth. What are you gonna do?
I love my
cake is cake, my man. That's what I always say.
Well, so look, I know we don't have much longer with Marti, but I do have one more important thing I want to ask you guys about, which is the future. And we're talking about all this knowledge that the two of you guys have gained. And, you know, I've heard you both talk about it before, about how important it is to pass down some of this information, especially like it was hard fought and won for the women to get this information, for it not to be held all by the old boys club or whatever. So I got to tell you this, I'm looking forward to you guys retiring, not tomorrow, but in the future. I'm looking forward to your generation retiring. And I've said this to other wrestlers, because here's what I need. I need women like you to be producers in the back. Have you seen SmackDown lately? And I'm not afraid to call them out. And I know some of the writers over there.
Man.
I'm here to tell you, there's no women in that writer's room. And guess what? They don't know how to write women. I'm not afraid to tell them right to the damn face. They need to learn how to write women. Why is Shawn Michaels able to write women and Road Dogg over on SmackDown can't? Get it together, brother. I'm sorry. You need to learn how to write these ladies some good parts. Tony, I don't care. Road Dogg can come to my house. We'll talk about it. But listen, well, I want to see you ladies take this on to the next generation, and I want to know what up and coming talent inspire you. Like, do you have to teach them all a lesson like Tiffany Nieves, or are we looking at the Laney Lux of the world who got the WWE ID belt right now? Like, who is it, and what do you guys want to impart to the future of this business as women in it, and a key focal part to this business continuing to make money in the future?
Well, I do want to say I appreciate that. I also feel like we don't necessarily have to retire to pass on our knowledge, but a way that we're doing that right now, I would say, is, for example, being the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champions. You know, in NWA right now, are we the most seasoned veterans in the women's locker room? Besides maybe Markova, who is is the champion right now.
Markova are probably about.
Yeah. So all the matches that we're having right now in NWA are with the younger generation, and we're able to guide them and show them how to have a match. Not only a match, but a tag match, because that's also a different language. So doing that, and honestly, it's like that on a lot of indie shows now too, where there are a lot of, it's so weird. I was thinking about this the other day, how when I was first coming up, you know, and Marty too, I'm sure you can agree to this, that if there was a women's wrestler, especially in the US, you knew who she was, even if you've never met her. If you heard her, the name, you're like, oh, I know who that is, or I've heard of her. But now it's so hard to keep up with everyone. And it's great because there are so many more women on the indies in wrestling in general. And I think it's because, well, we don't have to get into why, but there are so many more schools available, so many more reputable schools. And I feel like the girls are getting so good so fast, way more compared to then in the 2000s. Let me tell you. And I feel like it took me so much longer to get decent than it is taking girls right now to get good because of the level of training that's available and the amount of shows, the amount of experience that they're able to get across the board. But I think that staying on the indies, not just sticking to NWA, but working with that NWA roster that's younger and also going out on the indies and working with the younger generation is a way that we can help pass on knowledge without retiring.
Okay.
Allison's like, stop trying to put me out to pasture.
No,
it ain't time yet. Damn it.
I want another
contract. Honestly, I feel like I've had thoughts over the years of I don't think I will ever retire. And even if I do, I don't think I'm ever going to say that I'm going to retire. I'm just going to disappear. So
well, and that's why
enjoy me while I'm here.
That's why I say I want to see the next evolution too, though, because it isn't about retiring. It's about like, I want to see you guys getting the Jamie Noble job and the Hurricane Helms job. I want to see you guys move into those roles also. I want to see you guys do what Gail Kim did, you know, for a lot of the women in that TNA locker room where she was like, okay, I can still get out there and bang if I need to, but also I'm needed back here. Let me go talk to Tommy Dreamer. Let me be in the back and help these people develop these stories and help these kids work their way through this industry. Like,
yeah, we've talked about that a lot too. Like not just agenting jobs, but things like being on commentary, you know, other roles that are non-wrestling roles. It's things that as we continue our careers, we're both almost 20 years in, you do start to think about of what's next.
Yeah.
I also want to be Mae Young at 70 years old with my titties out, you know,
taking a fucking ball, you know? So yeah, I think we're both very literally what AK retweet everything AK just said, because there are other ways to continue being active. Yeah, I don't know that I'm ever going to completely step away from wrestling. I just don't see that happening. And yeah, whether that is eventually moving on to commentary, hopefully eventually producing. I would love to produce wrestling at some point. And just there are other ventures too that I think will come attached to wrestling, like our podcast Chismesano that you can listen to on Tuesdays when we're available. That's something that's come from wrestling. Even like me getting to the reality TV happened because I was a wrestler. So I think there's so many other things. I don't know that we are ever going to step away from wrestling, because once you're in it for life, man. It's really hard. It's hard to step away. It's hard to step away from when you discover the thing that you love, when you discover the thing that you're really passionate about. It's really hard to walk away from forever. Even when we've taken time, when we weren't active in the ring, we were still doing commentary. I was doing ring announcing. I was doing backstage corresponding. AK when she had to take a year off, she was still doing commentary. You know, we were still involved in other things. So I definitely think that even when for whatever reason we're not able to take bumps anymore, we're still going to be involved in wrestling.
Thank you guys so much for doing this. Is there anything you guys want to plug? What are the socials? Where can people find you? What's coming up that we need to know about?
My Instagram is Sienna because they won't let me change it. I do have Twitter
From
still.
the TNA days.
Yes. So many girls named Sienna message me all the time. Like, can I have your name? Your name's not even Sienna. But anyway, the Allysin K is my Twitter, YouTube. I also have a podcast, The Chainsaw Girls, if you like horror movies. Allie and myself, here's the QR code if you want to scan it. There you go.
We'll put it in here. Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much. I think that's all I really have to plug, besides obviously watch NWA Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we are the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champions.
You can also go to her website, AllisonK.com.
Thank you.
Yes, and that's also anytime that you need to reach us, or you're looking to book us for a show, AllisonK.com, MartiBelle.com. I feel like Allison's website is better because I forget to check my website email. So AllisonK.com. My Instagram is @Marti.Belle. There is a dot. Literally same reason. I lost Marti Belle. Because of TNA, I lost Marti Belle. Somebody else took it, so I don't have it anymore. So Marti.Belle. I would love to just be at Marti Belle. It makes my life so much easier. But yeah, MartiBelle.com. We both have Patreons, Patreon.com/AllisonK/Marti Belle. We do a lot.
We both have whatnots now.
We do
Our
have
auctions. Go crazy.
You will be doing one tomorrow?
Whenever Friday is that tomorrow?
Yep. Okay. She has a whatnot sale going on tomorrow. I have one on Sunday. And then we have one coming up together probably in April. So keep an eye out for that.
They're so much fun. I'm addicted.
Oh, the clothing thing. Well, the all your stuff, right? You can just
like auction it off. Yeah.
Also, I have all these pictures that I haven't even uploaded. I'm
dang.
uploading these right now.
I'm like, where's mine? I don't have mine.
So I don't know. I think this already will have aired. If these don't sell on Sunday, join me for my next one. These are some of the pictures.
I believe your subscriptions may have just gone up.
Yes, definitely.
As they should.
And hit Allison's too, y'all. I won't describe, but there's definitely things you probably want to see over there, gentlemen. If you're watching the show.
Like this.
82.
Like that. Look how cute.
Oh God.
I gotta find the Hex one.
Yeah.
I have so much on my desk.
And Hex merch. Where are we getting Hex merch at, y'all?
AllisonK.com, MartiBelle.com.
Okay.
I should have
and whatnot.
I gotta rock the shirt.
Yes,
so
this is also on my website. These happen to be just on my website.
Yes.
But don't worry, we split it.
I like the exclusives. I'm all about the exclusives.
Yes.
Well, thank you again, ladies, for joining us. I promised Marty I would let her get out of here this meeting, but you have an open door invitation to come back anytime y'all want to chop it up, or you got something to plug or whatever. Mass Mats and Mayhem is your friend as well. So everybody, thank you for joining. Go watch NWA Power on the Roku channel on Tuesdays. And until next time, stay calm and stay in the mix.